In 2026, we have a $2.4 trillion AI startup ecosystem. And they're building lasers that literally zap weeds on farms. But at the exact same time...
At the exact same time, people are running AI detectors to argue over a single punctuation mark in a Nike tweet.
Yeah, the whiplash between those two realities is just, it's pretty wild.
We are automating physical reality, yet we're still hyperfixating on, like, human fingerprints in text.
Welcome to a new deep dive. We have a massive stack of updates for you today. So let's lay out the roadmap. First, we are looking at a fundamental power shift.
Huge shift. Anthropic just dethroned OpenAI on the CNBC Disruptor 50 list.
We're going to trace where that staggering $2.4 trillion is actually flowing. Then we will look at how Google is radically changing access with their I/O 2026 subscriptions.
Yeah, and then we'll unpack the cutthroat talent wars that are driving the bleeding edge of these models.
And finally, we will explore the hyperlocal tools hitting your desktop right now.
The ground is definitely shifting under our feet. I mean, the sheer speed of this evolution is really what we are trying to decode today.
Let's start with that macro shift. The CNBC Disruptor 50 list for 2026 just dropped. And the headline is impossible to ignore. Anthropic has officially taken the #1 spot.
Yeah, they push OpenAI down to #2, which is, you know, a seismic shift in Silicon Valley.
Right. For years, OpenAI was just the undisputed heavyweight champion.
They completely defined the category. And now the challenger wears the crown.
And the money following these companies is, well, it's almost hard to comprehend.
It really is. Total funding for the top 50 jumped from $127 billion last year all the way to $337 billion this year.
Wow. That drives a $2.4 trillion implied value.
Just think about that capital concentration. It is completely unprecedented. And geographically, it's highly localized, too.
Yeah, California claims nearly half the list, right?
Exactly. There are 23 California companies in total, and 14 of those are sitting right in San Francisco alone.
It's a modern gold rush. But the tools have completely changed. I mean, if you look at the new categories forming, they're wild. We have prediction markets now.
Yeah, like Polymarket and Kalshi. They're tracking real-world events and just aggregating human belief.
But then we also have something called vibe coding. Companies like Cursor and Lovable are really leading this charge.
It's so cool. Vibe coding basically means writing software using only plain everyday language.
Which completely democratizes creation.
Exactly. You do not need to know syntax anymore. You just need to know what you want to build, and the AI handles the rest.
But then on the other end, we have everyday automation. AI is hitting the physical world hard.
Carbon Robotics is using those lasers we mentioned to clear weeds on farms.
And Harvey is upgrading the massive infrastructure of the entire legal industry.
It's a profound collision, honestly. We are moving way past just chatbots on screens. We are entering physical reality.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second. Why is something as abstract as vibe coding suddenly sharing the stage with heavy physical automation? Like, why is capital splitting between software that writes itself and weed-zapping lasers on a farm?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's because they are deeply connected.
How so?
Well, as software generation becomes effortless, capital naturally flows to harder physical world problems. We have largely solved text, so now we solve reality.
So software creates itself, freeing AI to tackle physical reality.
Exactly. And if capital is flooding into physical automation because software is solving itself, that leaves a massive question.
Right. How are the legacy tech giants actually packaging this new reality for the average consumer?
Exactly. Which brings us right to Google's massive I/O 2026 announcements.
We are seeing a major subscription shakeup here. Google is fundamentally changing how they monetize these tools for you.
They introduced a new $100 AI Ultra plan. This is built specifically for creators and, like, tech leads.
The specs on this are aggressive. I mean, you get 5 times higher usage limits than the standard Pro plan.
Yep. And it integrates Gemini 3.5 Flash. Plus, you get a massive 20 terabytes of storage.
20 terabytes. And you get priority access to Google Antigravity plus full YouTube Premium.
But they also dropped the price on the absolute top-tier Ultra plan. It went from $250 down to $200.
Right. And it keeps the 20x usage limits, and it adds Project Genie.
And even the standard paid Pro subscribers get a perk. They now get YouTube Premium Lite bundled right in.
The pricing is a clear land grab, in my opinion. But the capabilities are what actually matter here. They announced Gemini Omni.
Oh, this is a major upgrade for video creation. You can flawlessly blend real-world footage with AI in Google Flow,
And it keeps perfect character consistency across all the scenes.
which solves one of the biggest headaches in AI video. Consistency was always the breaking point. Before this, characters would morph slightly in every single frame.
Right. And Gemini Omni solved that character consistency problem by fundamentally changing its spatial memory.
Yeah, it doesn't just generate frame by frame anymore. It anchors the 3D geometry of the character across the entire scene.
What's fascinating here is the shift from just generation to persistent memory. But Gemini Spark is the real game changer for daily life.
Totally. It is available for the Ultra tiers, US only right now, though.
It's a 24/7 autonomous agent. It connects the dots across all your Google products to handle complex tasks entirely in the background.
They also announced the new AI Inbox and Daily Brief. So Gmail will now highlight your priorities for you.
It will draft replies for you, too. And it gives you a clean morning digest of your calendar and your past chats.
It's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I have to admit, I still wrestle with trusting an AI to fully manage my inbox without sounding like a robot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The nuance of human communication is just so hard to fake. But Google is pushing really hard to ease that friction.
They are. They're also changing how they handle limits. Usage caps now refresh every 5 hours.
Right. And if you do hit your cap, they do not just lock you out anymore. Google seamlessly shifts you to a smaller, ultra-fast model. So your work never stops.
But let me challenge that for a second. Do these rolling 5-hour limits and fallbacks finally solve the dreaded cap anxiety for power users? Or is it just a masked paywall that ruins your output quality?
I think it actually solves it, because seamless fallback to smaller models keeps workflows alive rather than hitting a sudden paywall.
That's true. And the smaller models are smart enough for basic routing now anyway.
A softer landing instead of a hard stop on your workflow.
Precisely. You get to keep your momentum going.
So while Google focuses on consumer packaging, the underlying engines powering those tools are fighting a brutal, invisible war.
Oh, the talent and compute arms race behind the scenes is incredibly cutthroat. Let's look at the bleeding edge.
The talent shift is a massive story right now. Andrej Karpathy, who co-founded OpenAI, just joined Anthropic.
Yeah, Karpathy joining Anthropic is making major headlines everywhere.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. In a $2.4 trillion ecosystem, does one researcher changing jerseys actually shift the balance of power? Or is this just Silicon Valley theater?
It is definitely not just theater. Bringing his specific pre-training expertise to the company, already at #1, essentially cements their lead.
Right. He is joining their pre-training team. That is a crucial detail.
Yeah, because pre-training is the foundational phase. It's the ingestion of raw data.
That phase builds the core worldview of the model. It really decides who wins the entire frontier race.
Right, and getting the guy who literally wrote the playbook on early model training is a massive strategic advantage.
The brain behind the models just changed jerseys to the winning team.
Exactly, and the results of this talent war are already showing up in raw speed. A company called Descartes just raised $300 million.
Yeah, they are backed by Amazon, NVIDIA, and Sequoia. They are building faster systems with their DOS 2.0 platform.
The numbers on this are just staggering. They are reportedly delivering over 1,600 tokens per second.
And just to clarify, tokens per second measures how fast an AI reads and writes text words.
Whoa. I mean, imagine 1,600 tokens per second. That is real-time, instantaneous thought generation.
It's incredible.
It outpaces human reading speed by orders of magnitude. It means the bottleneck is no longer the machine's thinking time.
And the speed is translating to other modalities, too. Microsoft just dropped a local AI model that generates detailed 3D objects from a single photo.
Yeah, and it takes just 3 seconds. 3 seconds for a 3D asset.
That used to take a human artist days of modeling and texturing. And it is fully open source and commercially usable.
Cursor is pushing the boundaries on long-term tasks, too. They launched Composer 2.5. It's their strongest coding model yet.
This is huge for agentic tasks. If you've ever tried to build an app and watch the AI completely forget your architecture by the third prompt, you know exactly how frustrating prompt drift is.
Oh, it's the worst. But Composer 2.5 is designed specifically to fix that memory loss.
They also teased a massive new model. Cursor is partnering with Elon's SpaceX AI.
Yeah, they are reportedly using 10x more compute for that.
The sheer scale of compute being deployed right now is, well, it's hard to wrap your head around. Entire power grids are being dedicated to training these systems.
And yet, With billions of dollars in compute power, we still get tangled up in the most human things. Like, look at the recent Nike drama.
Oh man, it is fascinating. A single M- in Nike's latest social media post restarted a massive debate online.
Yeah, people are literally running AI writing detectors on a shoe ad.
Some people are calling it blatant ChatGPT output. Others argue it's just completely normal human copywriting. It's wild that we are arguing over a punctuation mark.
It just shows we are hypersensitive to the boundary between human and machine text right now. We are desperately looking for fingerprints. We want to know who is really speaking to us.
We see this massive compute power fighting at the top. We see billions of dollars in funding. But the most practical shift for you listening right now is how that massive power is trickling down.
Yeah, it is finally hitting hyper-specific local tools right on your own machine.
This is where it gets incredibly practical. Anthropic just introduced new features in Claude managed agents.
They now offer self-hosted sandboxes and MCP tunnels.
Let's break that down. MCP tunnels are basically secure paths connecting AI directly to private company data.
Right.
Running Claude managed agents locally via MCP tunnels is essentially like bringing a master chef into your own log kitchen. They get to use all your secret family recipes, but because of the tunnel, they cannot leave the house and share that recipe with Anthropic.
That's a great way to put it. It completely solves the enterprise privacy problem. You get the reasoning power of a frontier model without handing over the keys to your internal databases.
We're also seeing incredible workflow hacks happening locally. Developers are combining Claude code with Gemma 4.
That is a brilliant hybrid approach. Anthropic actually shared best practices for using Claude code in large code bases.
By routing the smaller, repetitive coding tasks to a local model like Gemma 4, you just stop wasting expensive cloud credits.
Exactly. You only ping Claude for the heavy lifting. There is also a new laptop LLM ranking tool that just launched.
Oh, this is a lifesaver.
If you have ever spent hours downloading a local model only to realize your specific GPU cannot even run it, this changes everything. It analyzes your exact hardware and ranks the best models your laptop can truly handle.
It is all about local empowerment. And we are seeing everyday tools get agentic features too, like look at Amazon's Alexa Plus.
Alexa Plus is acting as a fully autonomous AI podcast creator now. You just pick a topic.
2 AI hosts generate a custom, human-sounding audio conversation on demand. It is very similar to Notebook LM's viral audio feature, but integrated directly into your smart speaker.
We also have PolyReach. It gives your AI agent a real phone number and a synthetic voice.
It can literally answer your incoming phone calls 24/7. And it speaks over 50 languages.
Think about the implications of that for small businesses. You have a tireless receptionist that never sleeps and speaks every language your customers do.
We are seeing it in software development too. Driz is reshaping how we test apps. It's an AI mobile test platform built around intent-based testing.
Yeah, it adapts to dynamic user interfaces automatically.
Plus, tools like MampleChat are collapsing the software stack. They are combining messaging, AI models, and autonomous agents all into one shared workspace.
This raises an important question for the future of the industry, though.
Yeah.
We have all this local power now on our own machines. Does the rise of highly capable local LLMs eventually replace these massive cloud subscriptions entirely?
I think they will likely work in tandem. Cloud for the heavy lifting, local for privacy and speed. You will always need the massive server farms for the hardest problems, but everyday tasks move to the edge.
Cloud for the heavy lifting, local for privacy and speed.
Exactly. It's a hybrid future. The ecosystem is finding its balance. We have covered a staggering amount of ground today. Let's tie all these threads together.
Yeah, if you step back and look at the macro picture, the clear through line is that AI has definitively shifted. It is no longer a novelty chatbot where you type a prompt and get a funny poem.
It has become a continuous background operating system. We see that massive shift in the $2.4 trillion market valuations of the Disruptor 50.
Capital is betting heavily on physical automation and vibe coding.
We see it in Google's packaging, too. The 24/7 Gemini Spark agent is designed to manage our digital lives seamlessly.
It operates constantly in the background. It summarizes drafts and connects the docs before you even ask.
And we see it in the private local environments running right on our own laptops. Tools like Claude managed agents and local combinations like Gemma 4 give us secure, persistent intelligence right in our own kitchens.
It is the normalization of agentic behavior. The friction of interacting with computers is just disappearing entirely.
So what does this all mean for you?
It means we are moving from prompting machines to actively collaborating with them. The underlying infrastructure is finally mature enough to support actual autonomy.
I want to leave you with a final thought today. We're building incredibly powerful autonomous systems. Alexa Plus can now generate fully custom human-sounding podcasts on demand.
Yeah.
Agents like Gemini Spark and Polyreach can seamlessly manage your digital life, triage your emails, and literally answer your phone calls 24/7 in 50 languages.
It's wild to think about.
So if the machines are perfectly capable of just talking to each other, researching for each other, and summarizing for each other, what happens to our own internal voice? What happens to our fundamental human desire to learn when the friction of ignorance is completely removed?
It is the ultimate question of the 2026 landscape. We have successfully outsourced the friction of daily work, but we cannot afford to outsource our own curiosity.
Keep asking questions. Keep exploring these boundaries on your own. The tools are undeniably powerful, but your human perspective is what actually gives them purpose. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.